Oh, we're rolling.
Oh, okay.
Been through a lot of shit this year, like we all have, but kind of feel bad that I never made anything, so here it is. Cut. I was the lowest I could get during last winter. I was anxious about the future, grieving the past, wondering how much longer I'd last. Most of my friends weren't living at school. There was little to no time to schedule a bool. I felt like a fool for picking this major, was buried in work to graduate earlier. I was stuck in the mud and thinking of above, and who I'd become, and who I already was. It ate me apart. Still had a broken heart, was working on art, and that was just the start. I couldn't wait to move back into school and find the motivation to live again. I knew once I finally got there it'd take a minute before I got used to that life again, but nightly anxiety got in my head, and I didn't take my meds. The loneliness got so deep that I didn't understand why I was here, or what the point to anything was. I couldn't get a match, my friends went to bed, the only company was in my head. But all it would say was, what is the point to this day anyway? I tried new tactics to get myself out of the headspace, but soon I was in a hole, and getting out would take more than me. I sat in the hospital the next day and my head was reset. The girl to my left threatened to stab her dad, and the man to the right of me consumed his own feces, and here I was with nothing to say but I don't want to be here. Why do I have to stay? After hearing the other patients' stories, I had realized the only one creating these problems was a man called Privilege, the one I hadn't gotten familiar with until I met people different from me, which led to a long line of apologies. Took me a few hours to get out, and Nick picked me up. We talked for a while, and that was enough. I started the path, the only way up. If I'd gone any lower, I wouldn't get up. What was my purpose, though, in this life? There's surely a reason I hid from my knife. I'd wake up the next day, and the day after that, realizing why I'm still alive sat. I talked to some people, some good and some bad, but one person that still doesn't know is my dad. I talk to my counselor about him once a week, but unfortunately, my counselor is the opposite help I seek. He yells at me, tells me that it's all my fault, treats me as my dad does, and keeps me so taut. I fought through it all to say that I tried. At the end of it all, I'm left to my guys. And just like that, I did it, yay me. I learned a little, made some stuff, and had some fun. If this life was my choice, wouldn't be here, but it makes my grandma happy, it fills her with cheer. I was the only one not there for her last moments. From what I heard, it was nothing but torment. But all anyone wants to know is what I'm doing next. They seem to be unaware of this tragedy and its effects. The last thing my grandma said to me was that I should go back to school to get a degree in a better major. Of all the moments with her, that is not one I savor. I walked out on that conversation with a woman of such admiration for me. There were only a few who supported, just 3. The rest said, "Do you really think that'll work? Why don't you get a real job or a better degree?" Fast forward some more to the set of Sam and Kiki, a 3-day shoot, 36 hours of learning how films get made. Since then, I had consistent film work. Taking the Reins, Next Stop Christmas, Holiday in Harlem, High Heat, Sugar Plum Twist, Pep. This is why I stayed on Earth. Before was the end, but this is new birth. I'm still working on my stuff, and when it comes out, it'll be kick-ass. Until that happens, I'll be happy. But throughout this year, I brought myself back to that night when I was alone, crying, anxious, and suicidal. And I don't stay there for long, for better or for worse, but I tell my past self that this is why I stayed on this earth. Can somebody hire me?